We have another prospect on the way, plus some Dynasty trade targets next on Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. Welcome into FBT in 5. As always, make sure to follow and stream us on Spotify. Today is Tuesday, May 25th. I am Frank Stanfield, joined by Chris Towers, and let's talk about Blue Jays pitching prospect Alek Manoah, who will make his Major League debut on Wednesday against the Yankees. Former first-round pick back in 2019. He has 27 strikeouts to just 3 walks across 3 starts in the minors this season. Chris, what else do we need to know about Alek Manoah, and is he a must-add in fantasy baseball?
Yeah, I guess here are some other fun facts about Alek Manoah. He has 8 hits allowed through 6 starts between the spring training and the minors. He has 7 hit by pitches. So he has allowed almost as many batters to reach base on a hit by pitch as hitters. He is striking out everyone going back to spring training. He's got a 95 mile per hour fastball. He's got a slider that projects to be a really, really good swing and miss pitch. And actually, that fastball also projects to be a very good swing and miss pitch because it's a high spin pitch that he can throw in the zone. The changeup, that remains to be seen. And, it's kind of everything remains to be seen with Alek Manoah to a certain extent because he's only made 9 professional starts. So we just don't really know. Coming into the season, he was like the number 8 prospect for the Blue Jays by most organizations. He wasn't really considered a top 100 guy. Former reliever in college. There were some questions about whether, because of his, he's a very large pitcher, because of his, potentially limited repertoire. Maybe he's a reliever long-term. He seems to have made a real leap since, working on his own last offseason. And I think he probably is a must-add pitcher. I wouldn't necessarily, be dropping a top 50 guy for him, but I would be looking to put maybe 20% of my fab out there in a 12-team league if I really needed pitching, 25% in a 15-team league. I think he's as exciting as Logan Gilbert was when he got called up a couple weeks ago. Hopefully his first couple of starts go better than Gilbert's.
I was just about to say that. How about Austin Gomber? Is he a must-add starting pitcher? He was at the Mets on Monday. He went 8+. He allowed 2 runs with 8 strikeouts to 0 walks and has been much better in the month of May. He's only 42% rostered. Chris, is Austin Gomber a must-add?
No, I don't think so. I think you can add him, sure, but I don't think any Rockies pitchers can really be. You've got to be really, really good, tons of strikeouts, low walk rate to be like a top 50 starting pitcher in fantasy for the Rockies. German Marquez did it a couple of years ago, but I don't think Gomber's that good. He might be a top 75 starting pitcher if you need help and he's out there. Sure, go ahead and add him, but he's not at all a must-add guy.
Someone you could stream in the right matchups, especially on the road. His next start comes at the Pittsburgh Pirates, so that's one that you can look at. And stream anybody against the Mets right now with the lineup that they're throwing out there. On our full-length podcast, we actually spoke about some Dynasty trade targets, so let's talk about them a little bit more here on this podcast. So, Chris, who is one player that you are looking to buy and one that you were looking to sell in Dynasty right now?
I finally moved Luis Castillo down in my 2021 rankings. I had kind of stubbornly kept him as a top 20 pitcher, but last couple of starts, I just finally had to move him outside of the top 45, which means this is the perfect time to try to buy Luis Castillo. His value, looking long-term, is never going to be lower. I think he's still an extremely talented pitcher. I think he could figure it out immediately. And, if you buy low now, maybe you've got an ace for 2022.
Yeah. And how about someone that you're looking to sell in Dynasty?
Yeah, I think Kevin Gausman is the name, but I would say like a Kevin Gausman type, any of these pitchers who are after really, really good starts who, have a longer track record, are pretty well established. They're in their late 20s, early 30s. Gausman's 30. I would throw, Alex Wood, Kyle Gibson, guys like that out there as well. So that type of pitcher for sure.
Yep, I agree with that. I think Domingo Germán's another one with the New York Yankees. He's not really young. I think he's really benefited from some great matchups recently, so he's one that you can look at. Alex Wood, Kyle Gibson, you brought up, I think, a few names that you can look to sell if you can get anything for them, and a few players I like to buy in Dynasty right now. Dominic Smith, I don't think he's as bad as he's shown this year. I don't think he's as good as he was last year. He's probably somewhere in between. Universal DH should be around next year and for years to come, hopefully, in the National League.
Hopefully.
And a prospect to remember, Roansy Contreras. He's a pitching prospect with the Pirates. He is barely ranked inside their top 20 prospects. strikes. He's 20 years old at Double-A, has 28 strikeouts to 3 walks through his first 3 starts. Really like what I have seen in the box scores. I haven't seen much from him personally, but Roansy Contreras is someone that I do like, and someone that you should not sell in Dynasty, but we just have to give a shout out to Vladimir Guerrero Jr. He had a double dong on Monday. He's now tied for the league lead with 15 home runs, tied for second with 39 RBI. He's batting .333. He's awesome. For more extensive fantasy baseball coverage, listen to the Fantasy Baseball Today podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, your smart speakers, or anywhere else podcasts are found. And thanks for listening to Fantasy Baseball Today in 5. If you enjoyed the pod, please leave a 5-star review on Apple. We'll be back again tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.